part of the people them?
Ups. What do you mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, man, what you mean? Me up on the buy stage from me buy sexual.
They got a Batman, a Batgirl them.
Come on
Whoa.
now. I told me not always practice. You know, Christian when I go to church, I told me not always practice.
Wagwan popcorn. Where they go? Wagwan Sydanie.
Outside, you know, living life IRL, you get me? Yeah, in our real life. Yeah, hot girl in our real life.
So let's get into it. So, full-born Jamaican?
Believe it or not, I was born right here in the dot, but, you know, I'm a mix of Jamaican and Trinidadian. I'm just authentic with it, you get me?
Black Trini?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
My dad is Trinidadian.
What is that, like a jerk doubles?
Jerk. No, doubles with the extra hot sauce, green sauce, you get me? Yeah.
Wow.
Soca and jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, soca and jerk, get them to work.
Soca and jerk. No, I like that for real. Wow, so Jamaican, Trini, Jamaican Guyanese.
Yeah.
Wow. Get 2 rotis in one.
Yeah.
So tell us a little about yourself.
So besides the fact that I'm a Toronto-born gal, it's a Jane baby thing, you get me, the South Side. Brr. Always have to put that at the forefront, because...
What is it, B's up, C's down?
Wow, no gang affiliations here. No gang affiliations here, you get
You
me?
love it.
No, but yeah, I always put at the forefront that I'm from Jane and Finch. I'm from the south side of the Jane, just because I feel like it matters in such a little cultural community in Toronto. Everything is based downtown, and yeah, I rep for the Jane always. Also, a very important fact is that I'm a mother. You know, my daughter just turned 12 actually in December.
Wow. Capricorn?
Capricorn,
Yeah.
yes. So she's like my little manager.
Yeah, I'm a Capricorn too. She gonna put you in your place.
Yeah, right to it. But yeah, and I also have an arts collective called the Mocha Project, and that's like where the most of my work is these days in terms of just being boots on the ground. But yeah, I'm a lefty for random facts. I don't know if people...
So did you hear the facts about left-handed people?
Me no know
So
nothing,
back
sir.
in the day, they said if you were left-handed, you were a witch.
Oh yes, the Obia. Yeah. Well, considering all of the little bututo where they put down in my life, I'm stir it around and make something. Yeah. Me not claim it, but me understand what I say.
Get the steaks.
Hey, come
joking.
on. Not the stakes.
So what pursued you, or what gave you the vision, or what actually made you want to go and pursue music?
So to keep it brief, I had a precarious childhood, you know, grew up on the rough side of the track, so to speak. And yeah, music and art really anchored me when I didn't have anything or anyone to keep me anchored. I had, you know, just a really rough childhood, not that much family. Like I just, you know, basically just a typical Jane and Finch tale,
Yeah.
respectfully.
Yeah.
It could have been an a la HBO series. It's a CBC gem, what them call it. But yeah, just being creative is what always led me back to my core strengths, you know, being a leader. And it just kept me active in the community while other chaos was going on. And yeah, that just consisted throughout life.
So like did mom and dad help contribute to any of this? Like did they say like, oh, my daughter's doing music, like I wanna, ooh?
Never that. Nope, never that. I actually haven't spoken to my mom in a very long time. I'm like one of those no contact millennials. So yeah, but
With dad too?
my dad passed away
sorry,
a
baby.
while ago, but no, it's okay. But I never grew up with him really. To be honest with you, fun fact, I didn't know that my dad was Trinidadian until I was like 18.
Nice.
So I grew up Jamaican, and like that's the core of my, you know, and being Trinidadian and learning about my Trinidadian heritage kind of gave me more context to just, you know, why I'm one of the few Jamaicans that like soca.
Yes.
Kidding, jokes. But, you know, it just gave me more context into my understanding and understanding myself. But no, I never had a good relationship with my family. I've been living on my own since I was like 17. So music is really what gave me like a real life anchor when like I was just starting out and trying to make little extra money. And when you're a young, impressionable person like that, you're 18, you're not legal yet. And it's easy for you to kind of get swept up in the bullshit, you know, to keep it real. Like when you're that age, you could be selling drugs, trafficking,
Especially
getting
in that
trafficked,
area,
you know, in that area and just in that time. But music kind of just always gave me a strong foundation. Like, okay, like I have a 1-2 skills that could actually get me somewhere. And yeah.
No, because I had another person we were talking about it. Not to say like anyone was in housing, but I was saying that like housing really helped shape a lot of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like knocking them down, saying, "Oh, you're in housing, you can't afford it." It's not to say we couldn't afford it, but like we built ourselves from it so that we can be better and not having to rely on certain things. And like, you know, a lot of people need to understand that like you can build yourself from nothing and have everything. And I feel like what, especially you saying that you grew up in Jane and Finch, I find like the community really has your back. Like
Yeah.
they're really there to support. And I really love the fact that like the man are out there are really helping push and doing all these things. And
Exactly.
it's just so crazy that when people think about the man, they just always think bad, drugs, robbing, all of this. Not while like they're actually legit humans that are really loving, pushing, and supporting.
Yeah.
Certain parents.
I was literally saying today, actually, like, it's unfortunate because we all know how Toronto's culture and the incubation of the culture differs from other major cities in North America that have had hip hop growing and developing longer. So it's easier for you to see like niggas who are coming from the hood. It's easier for you to see like a trapper or something from other communities and like value their contribution to the culture because it's something that's intrinsic to what they had going on. But in Toronto, we're still kind of laying our bones in terms of building up something for ourselves here. And I think if you're not coming out the gate with something, if you don't already have a resource, if you're not trapping, a lot of the people who are coming from where I'm coming from in the city, they're able to make it because they're able to invest in themselves. People don't look at it like that, but it's like, yeah, a lot of men who are coming from Finch or who are coming from Jungle Region, any of those like real Toronto hoods, they're putting themselves on because they're able to invest in themselves. You get
So what type of resources did you have in order to get like the certain bookings? Because I know there's not really much resources out there. It's legit like someone would either have to go and ask a friend for a studio, or someone's gonna have to go and drop it down and buy that studio for the rest of the mandem out there.
Yeah.
So like what type of resources did you use?
It was literally all community. Like in my first mixtape called Public Intoxication, and I've been, all I'm cool. My first mixtape was on datpiff.com. You get
Wow.
me? Been rapping Southside, you get
Not
me? But,
that piff.
but that first mixtape that I made, it was recorded at Urban Arts. And Urban Arts is like a community art space that used to be at Weston Road in Lawrence, but like enough big artists who are like popping in Toronto right now. Yeah, dude. Their first stomping grounds, they had to stomp through Urban Arts and make their music. And that's where I made my first mixtape. And from there, getting connected with so many people out east, you know, the founding fathers of Rise and all of them people. That's where I really started to make connects and work with people and get in the studio. And not just get in the studio, but working with like-minded people where it's like a pay what you can or sliding scale or, you know, something that is affordable and accessible, especially too because like I had my daughter like a year after I made my first mixtape. So she's been a big part of my career in general. So it's always kind of been like a baby on my hip, how can we get it cracking type thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's always been community, Jane and Finch first, Black women in Toronto first, kind of, you know, trying to hold open that door, especially in that 2015 to basically pre-COVID era. It was Black women who were like,
So like that all being said, like how did you manage being a mom at that time and still pushing music? Like, did you bring your baby into the studio?
Real life, like anywhere, making community with people who knew and understood that my daughter is part of this, you know what I mean? And like, I'm here not just to RE and try and get clicks, but it's like my daughter being in this space is intrinsic to building generational community. Like when, again, Toronto is a baby compared to New York, Chicago, Atlanta, hip hop and culture. So when you do that, oh, did you know that so-and-so is cousins with Ray Tay or this old grandpa rapper is this person's auntie?
Yeah.
It's because the community and the studio was a community place. So that baby was in the studio now, 18 years later, this baby. So my daughter, in whatever way it is, she's a part of the Toronto culture and next generation to be RE and to be RE, the next generation to just, you know, be part of the movement and building with people who understand like, okay, yeah.
And she's at the age she understands.
That now she's 12 years old. So now, you know, her and her friends are doing a little dance and her little friend them are producing and, you know, little girls, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh my gosh, your mom, you know? So it's always been really important to me to be shifting the culture in that way through visibility and just being there. It's not always like a protest or rah-rah. Sometimes it's just, okay, building with people who know all of this is important to the culture.
Okay, well, this is gonna be very left and off topic, but seeing like I have this platform and we should use it, and I feel like this is the perfect person to use this with, is how do you get the younger kids to vote? How would you like speak to them in a message? Because I know like these kids just don't understand, like regardless of whatever you guys are doing, you guys can change the future by going there and putting in your vote. And like, how would you, like, what could we do to get that across to them?
So this is an interesting question because my 9 to 5, I'm a youth outreach worker, and I work specifically with the teens. And it's interesting because it's corny to a lot of people, but speaking their language is so important because it not only honors them where they're at, it also like validates them and verifies them. When you're able to speak to young people the way that they speak and
so they can understand.
So they can understand, and then guiding them along, taking your position in community, whether it be a youth outreach worker, a teacher, whatever, you're not there just to be an authority and to like drop bullshit or drop shit on them. It's your job. You're literally obligated to guide them to, like, legit, it's your job. You're obligated to guide them to the next post in their understanding. So, okay, in a municipal capacity, you know what I mean? Like top boss Olivia Chow, what you mean? You better go vote. If you don't want no more people who are gonna be mashing up the OSAT, mashing up things that are specific to your experience.
Talk about it.
Okay, OSAP is provincial, Olivia Chow is municipal. You get me? But you get me?
It's
but
still working in the
still
same,
all in the same. It's still all in the same pool of things. So like with my young people, I'm super transparent with them about where my starting point is, or my starting point was. And a lot of them, like, I'm privileged to work with kids who are not coming from as far back as I'm coming from. And it's like, I could be like, if I could do it, you could do it too. And this is where you start. You start by caring and at least putting your ear to the ground on topics that directly affect you. So if you know that you're an artist and the only thing that you care about is where they're putting the funding for music and art, pay attention to that. Olivia Chow, okay, maybe I shouldn't keep dropping Olivia Chow, I like her still, you know, but specific one person, anybody who's putting money towards the arts, or somebody who's putting money towards green initiatives, or anything that you specifically care about. Maybe somebody's putting money towards housing and making sure that people are getting housed. Whatever it is that speaks specifically to how it affects your life, start there and then find the bridge. What are other stuff? How does that particular topic bridge to what other people are caring about and involved in? And you go from there. You gotta, even big people don't care about politics. So to expect young people to just jump off the porch and be like, oh, I want to vote. you have to show them why it's important in different aspects of their life. So, you know.
No, period. So touching topics on arts, how do you manage being a Black woman in Canada in this type of field?
No, still, it's
really?
Honestly, I feel like as much as the scene continues to change and evolve in such beautiful ways, I think it's a very tender topic and experience navigating the industry within Canada versus other places. I think every endeavor makes a difference, from my peers, from myself, but we're just not existing at the same speed as other places.
Do you find like it's because of the whole, like, you're from Jada Finch, you're a Black, you're a woman, like they don't want to take anyone seriously from that type of situation?
It's many stuff. It's many things. And like going back to the example of, you know, a hood rapper or a trapper from any major city where trapping rappers are busing, you know what I mean? It's easier to take a chance on something that you know already works and exists. You know what I mean? My story does not exist within the Canadian landscape. And Black women are constantly always having to prove themselves. I literally was just saying this earlier today. Beyonce, look upon big blood clot Beyonce, and even she still is having to work to prove herself being worthy of certain types of accolades in awards.
Especially that country album.
You know what I mean? So in a space where there's not that much space, you know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot of resources and alignment, and, you know, it takes a lot in order to push the envelope and be where people consider success to be. With all of that said, though, I do take a lot of pride in being like an underground princess, you know, pushing the envelope in real life. And
Because that motivates a lot of women, especially young women, seeing you doing what you got to do, doing your 9 to 5. I still have time to be a mom at home. I still have time to drop music. I still have time to be yourself.
Work.
But that all being said, like, what do you, like, how do you manage your 9 to 5 and still able to do this? Like, do you see yourself continue making music, or you have to, like, want to drop your 9 to 5 and just pursue doing music every single day for the rest of your life?
That's such a good question. I feel like it fluctuates day to day. And if we're keeping it a book, the economic times that we're in, it forces a lot of artists on the margins to prioritize stability, to prioritize their livelihoods over pursuing anything else.
Yeah.
With that being said, I've laid a decent foundation for myself in community and in arts education, in just a broad aspect in the Toronto cultural building. And I feel like even if, so my like job that I'm in right now has taken a lot of time away from me in terms of like creative.
But I'm still very grateful that you're still in it, though, because if you're not being in it, it's going to have one kid go left and just end up somewhere else you're not supposed to. So
I'm still able to invest in myself creatively in different ways, though, right?
Okay.
So, like, I'm working at a nonprofit has given me so much more context in terms of how to build out my own collective and how to continue to make culturally significant, innovative, envelope-pushing moves in the city, in the country, respectfully. With or without music, you know what I mean? I think, like, I'm an artist regardless, and the story is already being told. Like, nothing is gonna take away from me being, rapping mom from Jane and Finch who makes, ethereal gangster baddie intellectual house music, I'm one of the, how many people can you say from Jane and Finch is making electric music, any of them kind of alternative, who we know though, you know what I mean? Because there's always people who are cooking in the underground that we don't know of, but in terms of who I know I am, and like nobody can take that away from me, whether this record I drop is the last record I drop ever or not,
So how long have you been performing?
For most of my life, most of my life. I've been performing before I started making music. I was always like, on stage, drama, little school projects and them things. So ever since I was a kid, I was always on stage.
So what was your favorite performance you've ever given that you felt like, God damn, I did that?
My favorite, it's hard to say. Cause I always eat it up.
There's always that one, you're like, God damn.
I think
I ate it.
Like I could say a show experience. Okay, most recent show that I say, I am that. Probably last year Pride, we did the Biphoria stage. And, because I was saying something else for a while.
So wait, you working for Pride, you're part of the people them?
Oops. What do you mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, man, what you mean? Me up on the buy stage, show me buy sexual. Come on now. Actually, me not always practice. Christian when I go to church, actually, me not always practice. But me they in it, yeah. What you mean? I came out on Facebook, original done better. What you mean? In high school. Come on now.
So how is it you being like that in Jane and Finch? Like, do they accept you? They still look at you left like, nah, that girl still yam the tacos.
I think if I'm gonna keep it real, being from the Finch always made me carry a certain level of internalized.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
then you always have to put up that face and be like, I am, but what are you gonna do about it?
Type shit. You know what I mean? And it's like being unapologetic. You have to. You can't tuck your tail and because that's when people are really gonna get at you. You know what I mean? I also had the privilege of like coming up in a different time. You know what I mean? I came up in a different, to me at least. Like,
but you were still in a time like it still wasn't acceptable because the Facebook time back in the day, no. Girl.
Oh yeah, no, but I feel like in terms of the spectrum of just what I know queer people before me had to really go through, like. The time that I came out, even feeling a certain level of internalized hatred or internalized homophobia. It's like,
Was that due to the hood or just due to you not understanding what it really meant to be bi?
I think it's a little bit of both. I can't put all the blame on the Finch. I can't put all the blame on the Finch, respectfully.
fair.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't yamming me up like that, Like, you know, I went to high school downtown. I had a very interesting life. You know what I mean? So like, I went to a few different high schools, and I think that's what allowed me to like really step into myself and be like, yeah, when I was in them times, but kind of being the closet had a revolving door. You know, no. But, you know, to each their own in that respect.
So who was your inspiration, like having to make music? Like who was it?
Beer Mod people.
Who?
Beer Mod people. Hold on, wait. Okay. So somebody want to mod? Okay, one of my key inspirations when I was in high school, Lupe Fiasco, which is so crazy. It's crazy compared to what I actually sound like.
I'm here thinking like Foxy Brown.
You know, that I'm the one female rapper that.
Does it start with an N? We don't say that name here.
No. It starts with an A. B.
C?
Oh, you know, but yeah, Lupe Fiasco was like one of the first rappers that made me be like, okay, like I have to do this, and I have to do it in like a educational, provocative storytelling. Like I have to be telling the people something, you know? Like I first listened to his album when I was in grade 9, and I was living in a group home at that time. And like
Yeah.
the group home worker burned a copy of the CD for me, and I played it until it was skipping, like, and it really like that set the wheels in motion. There's more people who inspired me.
Put it together.
You know, that there's more people who inspired me for sure, who, not to say I sound like, because it's a one-of-one thing, but who you can probably see more like, okay, I see how that person inspires you, I see how that person inspires you, but it's many mad people who we don't
really,
you know, who we don't really, fair. You know, but, you know, shout out to all creatives in wherever they are at in their experience, because it's hard being black.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Especially like being black and people don't believe that you're black.
Come on now.
What?
Come on now.
So that being said, like where do you see yourself in like 5 years from this? Because I know from the beginning of this, you were not expecting it to be like this.
Where do I see myself in 5 years?
Tour.
Outside. Outside. I'm a legend for life. And I don't like, on the bad days, it's like, oh my God, what do you want from me? And then on the good days, it's like, I'm gonna be doing Tina Turner tours. Like, you see that bad 65-year-old when she did not the ears and I'm just, hey, what? I mean that. Or I don't know if you've ever seen that meme, this auntie, tough, strong auntie, and she's mixing some dirty house music, and it's like, she's like an older lady, like auntie in the kitchen. Yeah, that's me, boom, brr. I'm always gonna be in it. Where I see myself, it's hard for me to articulate that at these times, because I just know I want the best for myself. If that's tours, if that's Mocha Project expanding across Canada, if that's, you know, me doing TED Talks, if that's, you know, I don't want to.
Regardless of what you're doing, as long as you.
As long as it's me, top boss, top Jenna, I don't want to limit myself. Yeah, tour, international, everything. All of them things, no want it.
You being in this field in Jane and Finch, would you say your ops are more men or female?
I don't have ops. I'm loved by all.
Lies.
Loved by all, hated by none.
But really, so what do you base your music off of? Just like your life? Like not towards like anyone like, oh, friggin' Miss Puff over there.
Oh yeah, I'm not that kind of rapper, respectfully. Like I'm not that kind of rapper. And that's why Lupe Fiasco is my first inspiration. Because there's value in all different iterations of storytelling. There's value in, I'm a bad bitch, fuck that bitch, like, because I listen to that shit, but I don't need to tell those stories because that's obvious.
No, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm here to educate, I'm here to reinforce that you're worth something, I'm here to tell you about, we have 13 years left of fresh water upon the planet, climate change, a damn thing me I talk about, a big things, you know what I mean? Because I want people from the Finch, because I want knowledge to be accessible. I want information to be accessible, and music is the best way to do it. Even people who can't read, they can listen to music.
No, true.
You know what I mean?
So what song would you say that you produce as really knowledgeable for anyone? Like if I were to listen to this one song, bam, I'm smart or more educated.
Song, boy, that hard to say, but go check out that mixtape 999, only available on SoundCloud. Yeah.
999?
The whole tape. Because it's so like, it's so like heavy in terms of telling my story and, you know, speaking about where I really, really came from and alchemy, transformation.
Yeah.
People talk about transformation in like every day, everywhere, but it's like when you're really coming from the gutter, coming from nothing, just going from having nothing to having a job is something that is to be celebrated.
Aye.
Going from, you know, months and months of, you know, inactivity, not doing nothing, you're in your bed, to up, you're outside, you're socializing. Those are things that deserve to be celebrated. So knowing that I have a voice and I know how to speak truth to power in affirming ways, I can make a song, get out of bed, do, 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 get out of bed, do, 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 do. And there's gonna be people who are like, oh,
No,
fuck, I got out of bed, bitch.
Yeah, no, I love that.
And it's simple, but it's deep.
And that song did the same thing. Yeah. So like that all being said, instead of it being music, because a lot of people, especially our skin complexion and darker, they don't really believe in mental health. So what did you do to help you get out of mental health without music?
I got diagnosed.
Oh. So you went to go seek help. Not like seek help, you went to go seek to how to,
you know,
better it.
And I could still be doing a lot better, but I was late diagnosed with ADHD, and it got to a point, this was like sometime in the pandemic, I want to say, but I got to a point where I had to look deeper in myself and try and figure out why I'm not necessarily, it really was why I'm not moving at the speed that I think I should. That's what made me go and get.
So you compared yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, fair. No, fair.
And it's like, but in like a healthy way, because it's like for what I'm doing, for where I've put myself, for the opportunities that I've aligned myself, why does it feel like, you know when a car is stuck in the mud and the wheels are just spinning, but you're not going anywhere?
Yeah.
I had to get out of the car and be like, what the fuck?
But I feel like nobody in our culture really told us timing, because we had to teach it on our own, and that's why like the whole mental health thing is like we had to sit there on our own, figure it out on our own, and heal from our own.
Yeah.
And no one told us like your time will come, wait for it.
Yeah.
Your time is this, hold on. It was always like, don't worry about it. Why are you all up in the people in business?
Yeah,
Like, literally
exactly.
yamming it for yourself, and it's like, no, like at least let me know like everything will be okay. Your time will come. Maybe not yesterday, today, or tomorrow, but probably next year. And I feel like that's a big thing.
It's a big factor because mental health, I feel like, plays in a large part of why I have to take time with my pace. As an independent artist, as a parent, as a multi-hyphenate of doing so many things, and as a person who has ADHD, I'm not going at the same pace as other people. It doesn't mean that I'm not producing as much. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have as much depth and quality. It just means that I'm not moving at the same pace. And it's not an excuse, but it's a reality as a Black woman coming from all of them far hard time. The violin I play and the piano I sing. Like, I have to give myself grace. So if that means that my hit Grammy-winning record don't come out until I'm 37, I'm gonna take my time, because it's not 19 how much o'clock when you had to be 14 years old and I'm a slave for you. No, my time will come when my time come, because I have such an important story to tell, and like the door is there. The door is there. It's not Harry Potter. It's not about to disappear in the wall. The door is there. The key, we have to just search and look and find, but as long as I'm not dead, I'm going through.
Oh,
period.
Work. Well, we're about to wrap up just now, but something that I've been doing with the rest of the people on here, I want you to look straight into that camera right over there, and I want you to give a message to all the mothers out there that are really trying to push to pursue what they really wanted to do with or without the kid.
It sounds so corny because everybody's going to tell you to keep going. But pause, breathe, cry, play that playlist. You know what I mean? But keep going. Keep going. People always used to tell me, your daughter is looking up to you. You're such an inspiration to her. Especially when I felt like the numbers are not bubbling, nothing is scratching, nothing is really moving. But now that she's a preteen, I really see the awe. I really see how much she's inspired by my effort. And your effort is not going to be the same every day, is what I tell my daughter. But once you know that when you rest your foot, you could say that you tried your best, whether today was a 2 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, you have to give yourself a pat on your back. Big up all of the strong mother out there, whether you're single or you're ready for mingle, or you're there with the boy in a stack like Pringle. Yeah, you're that strong and y'all go long. Yeah.
Well, honestly, I want to say thank you so much for coming. And I'm really like having to hear your story. I'm very super duper proud of you. And if you didn't hear it, you're Black, you're beautiful, and you're important. And I want to say thank you for coming out today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.